Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back for another week of The Guys Next Door. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, brought to you by Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Pastor John, my co-host, he had to step out today, so we're running solo. But I have a very good friend of mine here and an excellent person in the community, Scott Tilley of Track Ranch.
Hey, Ron. How's it going? Hey, Tucson.
Great. Thank you so much for not showing up today, but thank you for taking time today and coming in and talking to us.
That's my pleasure. We were actually down at the rodeo, so I was able to slip on out just after a couple of the events.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you about that today. You guys were pretty much involved with the rodeo all week this week, weren't you?
Yeah, we've always done a lot of stuff with the Tucson rodeo, from taking people that have never been to the rodeo for the first time, the kids, educating the kids. Obviously, the rodeo is a big thing in Tucson. Kids get out for school, so we have some educationals. We had kids from the Arizona Humane Society come through and learn about some animals day before yesterday. So that was pretty interesting. We ride in the parade. I had 11 kids from our drill team riding in the parade. And so that's pretty awesome. And then we're also affiliated with the U of A rodeo team. So we do quite a bit of stuff with them. They help us out with our events. And in turn, we help them out with sponsorship help and getting out in the community and spreading the word. And then we work that rodeo for them as well.
Right. And they have a rodeo coming up soon, don't
That's
they?
right. March the 2nd. They're going to have a rodeo. It'll be at the Tucson Rodeo Grounds. And it's really the 85th annual intercollegiate rodeo.
Okay.
So U of A was actually one of three college rodeo teams that started college rodeo way back when. And them, as well as a lot of other people, got affected by COVID. And then the U of A fell on some hard times and sold the property that they were practicing out of. So they kind of got scattered a little bit. But we've been trying to get them back together, get some organization, and really just start spreading the word and telling the community. It's an awesome rodeo. The best. Yeah. It's almost as much fun as the pro rodeo, I'd say. Less crowds. You hear the moms and dads rooting on their kids.
Right.
You've got all these kids from all of the the western states rodeos. You got Wyoming, California, New Mexico, Texas, and the rough stock is amazing as well. Some of the rodeo animals that come through there are phenomenal.
Great, very good. And it's March 2nd, so it's next Saturday.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's family event, and it's, is it $5?
It's $5 to get in.
$5 to get in, so very affordable.
Very
you get
affordable.
The whole family in there.
And they're also doing a barrel race that Friday evening, the evening before the rodeo. I believe it starts about 5 o'clock. And it's a big barrel race. They've got about $4,000 added with buckles. If you guys have ever seen these ladies race these horses around the barrels, it is truly adrenaline rush.
Right. Well, very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about track. Can you tell us about track?
Yeah, I would love to. Track stands for Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. Our mission statement is strengthening kids and community through animal interactions. And our participants will receive specific vocational skills that will aid in their efforts to help themselves, each other, and the Tucson community. And the one thing we want you all to know is our kids are on track.
Fantastic. And what kind of programs does track offer?
Oh, we do many programs. We've got summer camps, spring break camps, which are coming up. We'll have 3 weeks of spring break camp coming up in March. Birthday parties. We do field trips, a lot of volunteering. Riding lessons, trail rides, petting zoos. We can travel to your house and do a birthday party with our petting zoo, or if you have an event, we can bring our petting zoo animals and set up at your event. We have family memberships, probably the most popular thing in Tucson. That family membership is $120 annually for the whole family, and it allows you access to our ranch from 8 to 12. And again from 3:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. We do a lot of community service visits. We have an animal-assisted life skills program and an equine-assisted learning. We are CHA certified, which is Certified Horsemanship Association.
Oh, okay.
And we are the -- accredited ESA affiliated ranch in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, okay. Very good. What do you mean by ESA accredited?
ESA is the alternate educational funds for children.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they can come to the ranch, and we have a variety of skills and teachings that we can teach them, and it all qualifies underneath that ESA fund.
Okay. And besides the programs, does track host events or have event space available?
Yes, we do. We do host events. We actually hosted a Wake Up Tucson happy hour not too long ago at the ranch, and it was a great success. Shout out to Chris DeSimone and Pat Hirsch and Charles Heller for all of their help with that, and you as well, Ron.
Well, thank you. And they have always been really invested with track to help them. Yeah,
they've been great. I would have to say Chris DeSimone we're going to have to get a new shirt made. It's going to have to say the Track Heroes, because those three have really definitely been some of Track's heroes. Chris has really stepped up and helped us quite a bit with just the business networking. We are looking for a new home, Ron.
Yeah.
So Chris has been helping me out, turn over every rock and bush and see what we can find out there for track.
Right.
And then Pat Hirsch has been doing a yard sale at her place, raising money for the move. And Charles continues to promote as well as you do,
right?
Steadily. So we're going to have to get some Track Heroes vests or something like that, I think.
Yeah. And it's a fully functioning ranch, and you're looking for a new home. I mean, that's a huge endeavor.
It is. It's quite a bit of a leap. We've been in our current location for about 8 years, so it's time for us to find a new place. We'd like to stay in the area. We've reached out to Pima County, the flood control, the U of A, and a couple of other ranch properties that are in and around our area.
Right.
And so we're just waiting to see what might be the best move.
Fit.
Yeah, the best fit for us with the right terms. Because it is no easy task to pick that big old ranch up and move it.
Not at all.
But when one door closes, a couple more doors open. So
that's right.
We're excited about the change, but we're still looking. So if you know of anyone or anyone out there knows, please give us a call. 520-298-9808.
Right, and that could be in the city or the county.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, and we're looking for about 10 acres.
Okay.
I think we need to have about 10 acres to really to do what we want to do with the amount of animals that we have.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you. We're going to have you on for another segment now. We want to thank our sponsors, Awakening Minds LLC, R&R Mini Roll-Offs, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We're going to go to break right now, and then we'll be back with Scott Tilley of Track Ranch. Welcome back to The Guys Next Door. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, brought to you by Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. I'm here today with Scott Tilley of Track. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Ron, for having me.
Yeah, so established in 2007, Track is a one-of-a-kind ranch in the city, offering children with and without special needs the opportunity to serve their community through the joy of animal interaction. Tell us about the mission of Track.
Well, the mission, basically, my wife, she was the one that came up with it, to strengthen kids and community through animal interactions. And basically, it got started with her. She was a special education teacher. And she had some animals in her classroom, and she really saw the kids' general interest in such as reading to an animal, or if you're having a bad day, those animals could just seem to change their demeanor and just turn that bad day into a good day.
Right.
And then so she took that a little step farther, and once these kids really kind of understood the animals, learned learned how to feed them, care for them, different basic question and answer things where they could go out and provide a community service. There was an assisted living home that was next door to her school. So she did this little pilot program where she took kids over, and wow, the things that came out of it
Right.
were just amazing. And so later, after she had a family and different things had happened and transpired, changes, we basically brought that back. Like you said, in 2007, I was running a large boarding facility, and we had about 75 horses that we were caring for. My wife's horse was one of them, and the economy was tanking, so hay prices were up through the roof.
Right. Yeah.
People were ditching horses out in the desert. It was really
That's horrible.
pretty bad situation. And the owner of the ranch said, "Hey, we're going to sell the ranch and we're going to get out of this business."
Mm.
And so anyway, we had 3 little girls, and really kind of made a decision. Hey, I don't think, we really just wanted our girls to be raised in around the ranch life.
Right.
And so she said, "Hey, you want to try this nonprofit thing?"
What a leap of faith.
Oh my goodness, was it a leap of faith?
Yeah.
And everyone that we had talked to said, "Oh, what are you doing? You don't want to do this in a down
Right.
economy. You're crazy, But we really just felt strongly about the girls growing up with that lifestyle, and so we said, "Hey, we'll give it a go for 5 years and see how it is." And literally, we didn't even make a 5-year plan. We only made a 3-year business plan.
Oh, wow.
Just because we weren't too confident about it
When you started out,
when we started out.
Okay. When you started out, you thought maybe it'd be a part-time endeavor, or did you
No, we
jump
really,
with both feet in?
Yeah, we definitely jumped in with all of our feet, but we just didn't know what the future was going to bring because the economy was so bad.
Okay. Well, we have a caller on line 1. Rick. Rick, how
Hi,
you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
I helped out Pat with the yard sale, and I was just going to call and offer. I have a truck and a trailer, and if anybody had something to donate for track, because I believe Pat's going to have another yard sale and have stuff for track, or if anybody from track wants to donate, and I would be willing to. It's a small trailer, but I could pick something up if it was like an appliance or something, and take it over there, and then it would be sold at the yard sales, and the proceeds would go to track.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, that's awesome, Rick. Thank you.
And then if you want to get a hold of me, just get a hold of Pat, and or pass on, or you can pass on the information. I know you how to get a hold of Pat, and then I can just let me know what the situation is, and if I can go pick it up, I'll go pick it up and take it to her place, and hopefully it could be sold at a yard sale, and the proceeds can go to benefit track.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and a great show. I'll continue listening.
All right. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. So where was I at?
So I think we were talking about the program, how we had gotten it started, and with the girls, and so basically we'd taken that leap of faith, and hay prices were very, very high with the food costs. People were ditching horses. The owner of the ranch said that we were going to sell, so my wife said, "Hey, you want to try this?" I said, "All right, let's give it a shot," and we did. We jumped in with all of our feet, and like I said, we only made a 3-year business plan initially because we really didn't have any foresight past that. But 16 years later, here we are. We're still here. We started with about 6 animals, and at about 63 animals later on.
63. And one of them is your wife's horse. Is that the same horse?
Well, actually, very similar. We called him Ditto because he looked like the original horse that she started with. The original horse, his name was Little Bit.
Okay.
He was about a 13-hand Appaloosa, and he went blind.
Oh.
And so, as you can imagine, a lot of the kids with disabilities or needs would associate with this blind horse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was very, very, very cool. He was an awesome kid's horse. He still did lessons even though he was blind.
Wow.
We had to have, riders that kind of knew not to steer him into any obstacles. But he was an amazing horse. He passed away I want to say about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
And then we found another horse that.
These horses are mostly rescue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rescue. Some of them are donated, and some of them we purchased. But we'd found this other horse, and he was older, getting older, and needing to find a new zip code.
And he is an older horse.
And he is an older horse. He's actually 39 years old now, Ron.
Wow.
And he's still doing work. I had Channel 9 news anchor Blake Phillips on him on Wednesday last week.
For the rodeo?
To do a little rodeo thing.
Wow.
So he's an amazing horse. I hope he stays with us for a long time.
Yeah.
We had him also out at Trail Dust Town on Friday night. We did a big rodeo roundup out there with Trail Dust Town. We always do that every year for rodeo. That was a great time as well.
Very good, very good. And I think some of this therapy is just as good for the animals as is for the kids.
You know what I've found is that the animals tend to just want to have that interaction with people.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we do get some of these rescue animals that come in from people's backyards, they're not used to the amount of stimulation that they get at the ranch.
Oh.
Because we have so many people through there. So sometimes it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing.
Okay.
Just because we want these animals, we really do have a strict policy on what the behavior should be and stuff. And we watch that very closely. We monitor it throughout their stay at track. But Ditto, he's truly been one of those special horses. Because I do field trips and he stands so still for all the kids and in the camps. Obviously they paint the horses. So he does really well with that. And horses, Ron, I don't know if you know that, but as they get older, their teeth continue to grow. So they get.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And so if you've ever heard that terminology, we're
long
a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
That's where that terminology comes from. And so a lot of the field trips that I have, a lot of the little ones that have come through this week, obviously some of the struggles with mom and dad at home is go brush your teeth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of times we know as little ones, they don't want to brush their teeth very, very well.
Yeah.
But when you show them a long-toothed horse that hasn't brushed his teeth in 39 years, believe me, they'll practically run to the bathroom to brush their teeth next time. So we use the animals a lot for just learning experiences. The animal, like I said, the animal-assisted life skills. This is really a breeding ground for common sense, problem solving, and a work ethic. And let's face it, in today's society, common sense isn't very common anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a very valuable thing that we bring to the Tucson community through our animal interactions. One of my very favorite visits and service visits that we do are taking the kids to memory care facilities.
Okay. Yeah.
The memory care facilities are a lot of times they're kind of depressing as well, because here's this elderly person that is basically a library of knowledge.
Yeah.
That is just sitting alone in a room. They have a TV and a little bathroom. It's kind of like a little studio or whatever. And their caregiver comes by and gives them food. And we'll just say Bob. She comes in, the caregiver comes in to give him his breakfast and his pills or his supplements for the day. And Bob practically growls at her, Here, Bob, here's your food. Please take your pills. I'll come back and check on you in a couple hours. But the day that Bob knows that the track kids are coming with the animals, he's up early. He shaved his
Oh.
face. He's got his nice duds on.
Yeah.
And he's practically sprinting down that courtyard with his walker
Oh, wow.
to get to those kids. And then he tells one story after another, Ron,
Wow.
about his childhood and growing up on a ranch, the chicken that rode on his mom's shoulder and the goat that climbed all over the truck. And the caregiver's like, what the hell did you give him?
Right.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, well, he doesn't hardly say 2 words all month, but he doesn't stop talking the entire time that the track kids are here.
Wow.
And which is really, it's just a cool thing to see, because here you might have a young lady who lost her father
Mm-hmm.
and is now reconnecting with an elderly gentleman who, grew up on a ranch, and they're having ranch animal conversations.
Right, right.
It's magical. And that's
Yeah.
what we call our track magic.
Right. You're bringing joy not only to the kids and the animals, but also to those people in
Yeah.
the elderly home. Yeah.
Exactly. And giving them something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Same thing with the parents. The parents are like, Scott, I don't get it. How do you get my kid on the first day of summer? They could be sleeping in,
Oh, yeah.
but they're up at 6 a.m., practically knocking your gate down to get in to take
Right.
care of the horses and to help out with camp. It's
Oh,
like,
okay.
I can barely get them to pick their dirty clothes up and make it to the hamper.
Yeah.
And I know my wife's out there saying, it doesn't work for you, does it? Yes, it does, honey. But it's amazing just to watch the kids, grow and gain responsibility and compassion.
Yeah.
And the real cool thing about our ranch, Ron, is that from the outside looking in, you can't tell which child is there receiving services or which child is there just to
Oh,
be
wow.
a part of the ranch.
Yeah.
Because they're all working side by side with each other.
They're accomplishing something.
And they're doing something together.
Yeah.
And I think, later in life, as these kids get older and own businesses or become community members, they're going to have compassion for these folks that have special need,
Yeah.
and maybe hire them or see them in the workplace and realize that they really do have something to give back.
Exactly. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they find out more about track?
The best way to find out more about track is to go to our website. We've got a very new interactive website, and I've heard it's very easy to work with. It's www.track.tucson.org, or you can call the office at 520-298-9808, or you can just stop by. We can give you a tour. We'd love to walk you around the ranch and show you what we do. We are a qualifying charitable organization,
Right.
which you can donate $841 if you're a married couple.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott.
Oh.
We're out of time.
Sorry.
We'll see you next week on
Okay.
The Guys Next Door.